She was the kind of girl people turned to, not because she asked for it, but because she always listened, always knew what to say, always smiled, even when her world was crumbling silently beneath her feet. Her name was Eva. She was 25, calm on the outside, chaotic within. Her life looked tidy. A growing career in publishing, a loving family, and enough potential for the future to make anyone proud. But the thing about grief, especially the silent kind, is that it doesn't care how bright your world looks. It creeps in anyway. And for Eva, grief looked a lot like love. Unspoken, unreachable, impossible. Because the man she loved was married to her best friend. She never planned to fall in love with Liam. It happened the way all disasters do, slowly, and then all at once. She met him at university, long before he became someone else's husband. Back then he was the charming boy who quoted Virginia Woolf and laughed like he had stars in his lungs. He and her best friend, Naomi, became a couple a few months later. Eva smiled, applauded, took the photos at their engagement party, and broke a little more each time. Years passed. The roles solidified. Eva became their support system, their Sunday dinner guest. The one Liam called when Naomi was sad, when life got hard, when they needed advice from someone who understood them both. No one knew how hard it was for her, how each smile came with a crack inside her chest, how being near him, hearing his voice, his laughter, the details of his life, made her heart ache with all the things she would never say. She loved him. She never told a soul. And so she stayed. In the periphery of their love story, a footnote in a life she secretly longed to write with him. She tried to move on, tried dating, tried distraction, tried deleting every trace of him from her phone. But love doesn't vanish just because you ask it to. At night, she painted small, abstract portraits of people with no faces, only colors, always with a splash of gold. Her therapist once asked her why. Because gold means hope, Eva replied. But in truth, she painted to keep from unraveling. At work, she thrived. Promotions, acknowledgments, new responsibilities. She was becoming someone. But it felt hollow. Because every moment of success was followed by a cruel thought. Would he be proud of me? Her family, unaware of her secret pain, praised her for her strength. Her mother often said, "You're the glue that holds people together." Glue. Not gold. Not girl. Just something that stuck quietly in place while everyone else lived loudly. Liam came over one rainy evening. Naomi had forgotten their anniversary. "She's been distant," he said, sipping the tea Eva made him. "Work's been consuming her. I don't want to be the kind of man who resents his wife for ambition, but I just feel alone." Eva wanted to scream, "You're not alone. I see you. I've always seen you." But she didn't. She just nodded, placed a comforting hand over his, and said the thing she was best at. "She loves you. She's probably just overwhelmed." He looked at her, eyes soft. "You're always here. Always steady. I don't know what we'd do without you." She smiled, even as her heart begged her to leave. One day, she wrote it all down. Not to confess. Not to send. Just to breathe. "Dear Liam, I loved you before I knew I shouldn't. I've carried that love in silence, through weddings, through birthdays, through anniversaries that weren't mine to celebrate. I have never tried to take you from her. But every part of me wishes I had met you first. I will never be the woman you come home to. I will never be the name in your phone under love. But I was here. I was always here. And I loved you in the quietest, fiercest way I knew how, by never making you choose. Eva." She folded the letter, placed it in a book she knew no one would ever read. That was enough. Months passed. The ache remained, but something inside her began to shift. One morning while walking through the park, she saw a little girl running through a patch of wildflowers. Her mother called after her, laughing, breathless, alive. Eva stood still watching the child. And for the first time in years, she didn't think of Liam. She thought of herself. Of the girl she used to be. The one who dreamed of painting galleries, writing poetry, traveling to places that had no name in her memory yet. The one who didn't measure her worth by the gaze of a man. She went home that night and painted. Not for therapy. Not to survive. But to feel. A massive canvas. Bold colors. Faces with eyes this time. One of them hers. She signed the painting with her full name. She opened a new Instagram account. She started a blog. She wrote, finally, about unspoken love. And people listened. Thousands of them. Her pain became her art. And her art became her healing. It wasn't overnight. But love did find her again. Not Liam. Not a replacement. Not a shadow of something familiar. Real love. Unexpected. Deep. With someone who looked at her like she was the painting. And for the first time, she didn't feel like the supporting character in someone else's life. She felt like the story. Her own.